Hello everyone. Benchdude, KJ, it is good to see you. Everyone else who is lurking, it is good to see you too. How are we all doing today? I should apologize that we're starting a little bit later than I had hoped. Chakista, hello. Um, I was a bit just kind of stressy spaghetti all day long, all morning long, so needed a little bit more time to get that out of the system and get all good and happy and ready to go. Chakista, Parishionin, good to see you. Chakista, I know, I heard the protests over in Belgrade were kind of crazy. And Raven, nothing in particular. Just kind of happened. Just was feeling a bit anxious for no discernible reason. But the nice thing about it being for no discernible reason is that it's able to go away. Because there's nothing in particular causing it to keep renewing it. So we just made it. We got through it. Off we go. Hello, Sacerdos! You can't all agreed. I hope you can stick around for a little bit because we finally got to the big city and there was some really lovely stuff that happened in the last stream. So, hey! I appreciate it. I'm super excited. So, stick around as long as you can. I know it's getting late for y'all, but it's always so lovely to have you here. Ooh, 1 million people showed up and they used sonic cannons. Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, that's very not good. Oh wow, everyone's coming in. Reed, it's so good to see you too. Shoutouts to procrastinating the grading. So real. So true. So, since there's a bunch of folks who have not either been lurking or not been around, we got all sorts of stuff happening. Let me sum up the game. What happened in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Because it was whack. So, we were sent to deliver a message to historical figure Otto von Berghoff, one of the leaders of the pro-Sigismund factions of the League of Lords, to try and negotiate an end to the war. We got ambushed by Jan Žižka on the way, and the entire party got killed. So we wandered around, made friends with most of the local area, and eventually made our way over to the wedding of the local lord Jan Samin's son, Ulda, and his daughter Agnes. Ulda suspiciously vanished. Then we got accused of trying to seduce the bride, and got thrown in jail. Our boyfriend and most annoying person alive, Hans Capon, got arrested for poaching, because that's what he did instead of making friends, he just stole stuff. Nearly got hanged for it, but Otto von Berghoff showed up at the last minute and bailed him out. It turns out, the reason why Otto von Berghoff showed up at the last possible minute is that he also got ambushed by Jan Žižka with the assistance of Ulda Samin. So we went to go talk to Ulda at von Berghoff's request. Otto von Berghoff's second-in-command, Hasek, got really pissed off and tried to murder Jens and Ulda Samin. We stopped that and killed him instead, proceeded to lie to Otto von Berghoff, figured out where Jan Žižka was holed up, and try and attack Jan Žižka. Jan Žižka instead turned that around, ambushed us. We got into a duel with Jan himself, put out Jan Žižka's eye, and then got bailed out again because we're just cool like that. So the drunk asshole priest from the first game showed up and bailed us out. We allied with Jan Žižka against Otto von Berghoff, but von Berghoff had a cannon. Turns out that was a problem. So, we got captured. And it turns out that our arch-nemesis from the first game who stole our dad's sword was in Otto von Berghoff's employ. So, we broke out of the torture chamber after getting slightly tortured, found him, killed him in a duel, defenestrated him in the glorious Czech tradition, and then escaped and have now made our way to Kuttenberg to locate our allies over there. This is so much happening. Also, we're now friends with the famous Czech historical figure Jan Žižka. That's cool, I guess. Poaching isn't stealing, it's resource redistribution, true and based, but this game takes an extraordinarily hardline stance of just execute poachers. Which was the law on the books, but I still don't think actually happened in practice. I think if there were that many poaching executions, we'd have a lot more evidence in trial books versus general banditry accusations. So, yeah, a shit ton of plot happened yesterday. But we're in a new area, so that's pretty cool. Hello, how are you doing? Also, gay people crimes don't count. We're gonna talk about that because that's actually one thing the game has been doing super duper well. Is being very normal about queer people rep in the Middle Ages. And I wasn't totally persuaded that they'd have it in them. But I gotta hand it to Warhorse. They've been really, really walking a fine line quite well about it. Let me pour some tea, and then I'll catch you in. We're not going to, I'll be honest, Jakista, we're absolutely not going to beat this game in time for Assassin's Creed Shadows, but we are either going to wrap up this playthrough or just take a break next week for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Speaking of which, we're going to have 3 streams this coming weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed, Assassin's Creed. Waiting for confirmation from a couple people to figure out exactly what the guest list is going to work, but someone's going to have a great time. Whether that's me, great question, still to be seen. But we're going to do a mega weekend on Assassin's Creed Shadows, and then we'll see whether that's a thing people want to continue or not. But yeah, does Hans qualify for the title of Disaster Buy? Emphasis on the disaster. Exactly. So yeah, I've got mint tea now, so let's quick recap on the queer rep, because I think that's been awesome. So firstly, one thing that's incredibly based of them is that there was no heterosexual reading about the holding hands heart symbol, where Henry and Hans could get into a relationship. Absolutely no heterosexual readings of that. It's the same symbol they use for every other romance option in the game. This is great because, you know, identifying queer rep, especially among nobility in the Middle Ages, is really tough. It's something you kind of have to read into the sources and live in the space of tantalizing possibility rather than normal behavior. That being said, like, it's not weird. People have been gay for as long as there have been people. It's fine. So, making that super explicit and normal and not a big deal was really cool to see. What they could have done instead, which would have been a lot worse, is exist in this weird space of chivalric love, which would be kind of in line with the narrative space that they're often operating in, right? So they could exist in this space of very homosocial liege and vassal, where there's a lot of hugging and kissing and crying over each other, and also these are people who are married with wives, and there's this, like, knightly homosocial love that is supposed to be pining and very chaste, and not really, like, highly ambiguous how that works. And they didn't do that, they just said, no, you could just express your love for Hans Capon, and that's fine. That being said, you know, double qualifying the qualified qualifier, it was not, you know, safe to be openly gay in the Middle Ages. And so the other character we saw, what was his name? It started with a B. It wasn't Bartholomew. Whatever. There was an herbalist we met just outside of the castle, who was gay and nearly got beaten to death for it. Instead, he beat up all the guys who were trying to beat him up because he was just cool like that. And we proceeded to fist fight him, then have 7 meads with him, pass on some wisdom, acknowledge the queerness, and move on with our life. He was extremely normal, extremely nice. I loved him dearly. But, you know, navigating that space where it's like, yeah, this is simultaneously part of the human experience and part of the historical reality of the period, and very explicit. And also, culturally, this is a space that is intensely patriarchal and heterosexual expected, and that it was not safe to be openly gay in that. So, like, that's a fine line to walk, and the game has done a really good job on that. So, we love a homosocial environment with same-sex intimacy. Exactly. And we love when the same-sex intimacy is explicitly romantic and normalized, instead of being weird and ambiguous. Or when they're so gay for each other that they fight to the death. Will say what makes you like this, even though you're only hearing it as a summary right now, is that it reflects not just historical context, but also ongoing experiences. Yes. Absolutely yes. Right? I don't think you need me to say this. If you're in this chat, you kind of already know. But, like, historical media is about the present. It is not about the historical setting, even when it is about the historical setting. It still reflects what we are interested in today, and it reflects the social experiences that we want to see in the world. For good and for ill. So, like, yeah, it's both historically very plausible and very good, and reflects contemporary experiences. True. This is also true of medieval material too. Absolutely. Look, we got the squad here. We could go very far off the rails with this, and I live for it. Exactly. We already had... Oh, there was a great moment while we were escorting Jan Zizka, of Godwin, our drunkard priest friend, and Catherine, the woman who was a spy posing as a maid in Otto von Bergov's castle, who broke us out of jail, where Godwin was attempting to explain the story of the Minotaur while going through a secret tunnel. He was like, I read about it in seminary. And Catherine was making fun of him for it because, you know, definitely no horny readings of that story. Absolutely no horny literature has been made about the story of the Minotaur. Nope, absolutely none. But right, just a lovely little bit of, like, being this learned classical space intersecting with, or being used as a way to comment on present events. That being said, it felt like that was the... Is it the Ovid version? Like, Ariadne... Godwin made a big stink about Ariadne having a big role, which obviously thematic resonance to how Catherine broke us out of jail. But it was like, that feels like that's the Ovid version, and Ovid manuscripts weren't super popular in the Middle Ages, so it would be a bit... I'm not totally persuaded that that's the version of Theseus of the Minotaur that most people would have read, or that that was the lesson they would have taken from it. But I don't care, because it was cool. It was a very fun moment. And then Jan Zizka shut it down for being too horny on main. And that was also very funny. So, I think that's got us up to where we're at. So let's hop into this new area. And we've got a new loading screen, too. Oh. Game, why are you doing this to me? Video game. What's wrong with you? Apologies for the doom and gloom. Or the infinite There we go. Look at it. It just decided to not load for a moment. The infinite recursion has been saved. Right? Also, Godwin was pretty adventurous and weird, so you're so right. Not very many priests were out in Kosovo fighting against the Ottomans. City, 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 city. I'm so excited. I am so excited to have the density of a city here and to see how they're actually navigating that. Because Kutna Hora was not a gigantic city by modern standards. It's about 6,000 people in 1400, but that makes it the second largest settlement in Bohemia. And, yeah, Chikista. He was at the Battle of Kosovo a couple of decades previous. Hang on. He was at this battle, the 1389 Battle of Kosovo. So, rest in peace, Murat the First. But yeah, so he was out there as a mercenary. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of adventurousness there. It means he was way better at sword fighting than we were. It was quite funny. But yeah, Kutna Hora is an absolutely gorgeous city, and it's an extremely wealthy city for its size, right? I mean, 6,000 people is not large, right? Pretty much every imperial city in the Holy Roman Empire is larger than Kutna Hora at this point. They use the German name Kuttenberg. It's the same place. So, right, Prague, massively larger. Many orders of magnitude larger. Nuremberg, Innsbruck, Brandenburg, Trier, Munich, Rheims, Cologne, all going to be massively larger. Paris, London, blow it out of the water. So this is not, we're not talking a gigantic city here by any measure. But we are looking at an extremely wealthy settlement because this is the primary silver mine for Bohemia, and so actually becomes a main source for most of the minting for the Pražský groschen, right? The Pražský groschen in the Middle Ages. So this is the monetary center. But what a terrible pun. Well, hello, Viking Nephilim. Incredible work. Fun fact. Time was discovered in Ireland. Why do you think every hour is named a clock? Awful. Well done. Oh. Thank you, Emmett. Bravo, bravo, bravo. So, a little bit, right, once Václav IV is broken out of jail in Vienna, he'll come over here, and so Kuttenberg is one of the seats of the Czech rule. It's never as prominent as Prague, but it is an extremely important site for the ongoing civil war between Sigismund and Václav. And so I'm really, really excited to see what they're going to be doing with this. I also know that there's going to be a Malian mercenary somewhere in this section. So I propose that we hop into this and we try and find him. But first, cutscenes. And loading screens. Oh, it's a whole new slate of stuff. It's a whole new slate of illustrations. Look at that. Look at that crane. Oh, they've got the crane human-powered instead of animal-powered. Oh, I love that. That's so good. Because, yeah, there's extremely sophisticated cranes in the 14th and 15th centuries, but they're primarily human-powered. You've got an actual guy on the wheel running the crane. So that's going to be awesome to see. Anyway, there's Jan Zizka. He's fine.
We'll reach Sukdal shortly, if those woodcutters by the forest weren't making it up. They looked pretty frightened.
Well, are you surprised? The captain here looks like the one-eyed demon of vengeance. I'd take to my heels myself.
Aye, us Cyclopses are good at frightening women and children. I could do without that gift.
Your eye will get better with time.
He does in fact.
You didn't lose it altogether.
That remains to be seen.
He does lose it.
Anyway, it's not my eye that did it. Sigismund is riding roughshod over the country, so the people are cautious. I can't blame them.
If it was only Sigismund, the devil is just as bad.
I thought we'd sorted all this out.
Collectible Jan Zizka, lightly tortured and mutilated. Look, the one-eyedness was our fault.
The dry devil.
Lord Hinek of Kunstadt. Grave of Znojmo Castle. A great warrior, and at this moment a guest of the Lord of Sukdal.
Oh wait, plot.
Why do they call him the Dry Devil, anyway?
You can ask him yourself when you see him.
I don't know why he's dry, but I know exactly why they call him devil.
Can you give it a rest? I don't need you insulting him before I get a word in.
Great. So I'm to keep my...
I don't think you could do that if you tried.
Say what you like, just don't go bugging the devil. At least for a while. That's all I'm asking.
What is this Sukdal place we're heading to?
The fortress of Lord Pisek.
Ooh, that's an important person.
Himself.
My word. And will a man of his stature see us?
Turns out controlling the money makes you very important.
He's got an important visit. And what's your plan after that? We have to save Sir Hans.
Don't worry, we'll get to that. If it's
Luckily,
not too late.
Hans.
It won't be. He's a noble, so they'll ransom him.
I don't know. His uncle has a reputation for being a pinch purse. You know him, Henry?
Yeah.
And I think I know why they say what they do.
Yeah, he's a bit...
But that's all by the by anyway. I intend to wage war, not parley.
Oh.
If I know Dry Devil, he's of the same...
Yeah, so Otto von Berghoff captured...
It will.
Instead of torturing Hans, decided to capture him and take him with him to Prague.
He rode to Trotsky as a messenger to von Berghoff. I reckon he must have had some idea what might happen.
It is Hans we're talking about. Are you sure about that? Oh, okay, we're still... Ooh, someone's actually using the shrines. Look at that. We've got roadside little shrines here. Sort of as public prayer spaces / pilgrimage markers. And someone was actually using one of those. And it wasn't used to name Kickstarter backers. Oh, by the way, there was a mention of St. Mauritius, finally. It took a while, but we finally got an explicit acknowledgement of St. Mauritius, who is typically and traditionally depicted as a black man in Central Europe. There was a relic seller who was selling us a finger bone of Mauritius, and it was fantastic. Yeah! You still have wayside crosses like that in Germany?
The gate's wide open.
That's not good. Yeah, hang on. The gate shouldn't be open. Something's funky. We just got out of drama. We can't be getting into drama again.
Watered, fed, saddled, first thing. Understand? Yes, sir.
We cannot possibly be doing this already. Look at his outfit! Look at his outfit. His outfit's so good.
Greetings. What's your business here?
The blessing of our Lord Jesus Christ, sir. I expect you're Peter Pisek. I am Jan Zizka of Trotsnov. I have an important message for your guest, Hinek of Kunstadt. Actually, for you two.
A message for the Dry Devil?
So,
Well now, Captain Zizka.
how does he... How does he know who we are? Whoa, another... What? What? Does he have... Oh. What?
I'm afraid your friend Hinnick is no longer
What is
here.
Yops doing here?
I'd love to know what brought you two together.
I will
What the
explain
hell
in a
happened to
moment.
you?
Well, sir,
Unfortunately, I'm otherwise occupied at the moment. Get some rest.
What is
Clearly
Yops
in
of
dire
Luxembourg
need of
doing
it.
here?
We'll talk tomorrow. Sir Peter, please take care of our guests. Yes, sir.
Come on, give us
go!
control. Ah, damn it. Alright, goodbye. I don't know why he's wearing a crown. Well, he is the Margrave of Brandenburg. Maybe that's fine. I don't actually know what Imperial Electors wear. Because he's a...
You must be tired and hungry after your journey. Follow me.
Right? I don't know if Prince Electors would normally wear a crown, to be honest. There's not a ton of depictions of them, but... Well, that's okay. Okay. Dang it, not quite there.
Very
Nice.
fine fortress, my lord.
I'm glad you...
Are you gonna keep dinging the whole time? Oh, damn it, it's gonna keep ringing.
nice one.
You don't?
To be honest, I'd much prefer to go back to Kuttenberg.
Stop
Life in a
ringing.
fortress isn't ideal for a man with my experience.
I want to get the bell to stop ringing first, so that way...
That gets worryingly smaller every day, Lord Trotslow.
Hardly surprising if you're putting up the Margrave here.
No, that's more down to his Hungarian cousin, if you get my meaning.
Okay, finally. We're close enough. We're close enough we can actually talk about it. We can talk about the whole room, actually, because this whole thing goes incredibly well. So, what's great about this outfit? Also, Wayside Crosses. Phenomenal. So firstly, personally I like it just because it's incredibly fancy. And I love that for us. Any universe where there is incredibly fancy news for us is going to be good. But also, there is a lot to like in its own merits here. Firstly, the exceptional quality, right? Let me be clear. This man is one of the most important people in the Kingdom of Bohemia. He is the head of the mints, right? So he has been given, as part of his obligations to King Václav IV, control of minting money for the Kingdom of Bohemia and ensuring the value and stability of the currency. He's not totally succeeding through forces outside of his control, but that means he is incredibly powerful and given an extremely healthy annuity for his services. And he is putting that to display fantastically. Firstly, look, can we rob him? We are a good Christian lad. He is a trusted ally and a servant of the king through the grace of God, Václav IV. And we just got ads. So, for the sake of ads, we'll hang on here. And we will not rob him, because yes, we are filthy. And having a bad time. But, like, we don't steal. We're not like that. In the meantime, we'll just enjoy how gorgeous this room is. Exactly, Lamasu. We exclusively use anachronistic forms of dice games. As good Christians do. In the meantime, this is about, right while we're waiting for the ad break to tick on, this is about as damn typical of a Bohemian castle as you could possibly ask for. Like, holy moly. Far more of a typical size than, like, Trotsky Castle, which is a bit on the large side, but also incredible. Good, uncomfortable foot chairs. Good silver and pewter dishware. incredible decorations. Like luxury. Alright, welcome back from the ads. We paused talking about the fashion in order to talk about the ads. But now we are back, so let's do it. So, firstly, the quality of the stitching and the silk brocade here is incredible. Remember, all of this has to be done by hand, using either Byzantine, right? Either, well, I guess 1403. Yeah, you could use Byzantine, Arabic, or Chinese silk as your possible solutions for creating something like this. And this is clearly silk, not a cotton or a linen. Second, these are calfskin, right? So we have these beautiful calfskin gloves, which are immaculate and in pristine condition, right? Even nobility do not own very many sets of clothing. So you'll often have people being fined for, sumptuary law violations, which this is pretty damn close to. This is a little bit sumptuary law violations, for the record. We got black with gold thread. So, black, right, we got a black silk dyed hood with gold thread in it. That's some good... If he was in Milan, he'd be getting fined. But... owning something of this quality and in this immaculate condition is a real showcase of just how much cash you have. He's also, a small detail that a lot of things get wrong, but is very good, he's wearing his relevant rings on the outside of his gloves. Right? It's easy enough to be like, oh yeah, you go gloves and then you go rings. No. Or you go rings and then you go gloves. No. Rings are always on the outside, because this will include, that center one is his signet ring. Actually, that looks like it might be his wedding band. It still has his crossed keys, though. No, that is a signet. Look at it. Crossed keys. It's absolutely a signet. So that's part of his royal obligations. And then other rings showing off his wealth using sapphires and other gemstones imported from far-off lands. Same vein, his hat is fantastic. Highest quality wool felt with a silken liner. And looks like falcon feathers with a gemstone pin there. So. And then the black silk with gold thread with the animal motives across, and the fleur-de-lis dagging. Which is what those little tassels are, right? This pattern of cutaways on a hood is called dagging. D-A-G-G-I-N-G. And it's very, very, very good. Are they anything in particular? I don't think so. I think it's just fashion. We did find some people with peacock feathers all over their hat. Hashak, who we killed, had a peacock feather hat, otherwise much the same design. So just, and the boots. Boots are another one that really showcase. Oh, ha. And the tied-off garters holding them up. Right? But boots wear out very quickly. And so having ones this high quality is just, across the board, this man is showcasing he's got a crap ton of cash. The medieval economy is a display economy. If you have cash and you are hoarding it instead of spending it on shiny stuff and locking it away, you are being bad about having cash. Doesn't matter what the government of Milan says. It doesn't matter if that takes it out of circulation. You spend it on shit that you are showing off all the time. And this man is showing it off all the time. Now, if we compare him in the cutscene to Jobst of Luxembourg, who is even higher ranking than this man. The big thing Jobst had is color and quantity. Because this man, for all of his fanciness, all of his incredible fanciness, only has one primary layer on. And he is, got ochre yellows and golds and blacks. Now, black is a pain in the ass to make, but you know what's more of a pain in the ass to make? High quality blue. And Jobst was fucking covered in high quality blue, with layers upon layers of it. Right? It's so different from the mindset of saving best clothes for occasions. Now, I mean, to be fair, he was just entertaining one of the prince-electors of the Holy Roman Empire. Like, it's not that is an occasion.
Nice one.
I wonder if we actually have a codex on Jobst of Luxembourg now. Come on. No, we don't. Damn. That's so sad. Margrave of... Hang on, let me see if I can find the actual... Let's see if I can find Jobst specifically. Oh! I forgot. He is future Holy Roman Emperor. I forgot about that. So this is who we very briefly met here. So, Jost, member of the House of Luxembourg, which is the royal family that Charles IV is also part of. So, like, one of the most important families in the Holy Roman Emperor. Margrave of Moravia, Duke of Luxembourg, Elector of Brandenburg, and King of Germany from 1410 until his death in 1411. So, very, very briefly. Right? And he is the cousin of Sigismund of Hungary. So this man is extremely important. And I can see why they gave him the crown, because this is the crown he was wearing in that cutscene. Right there. That dark blue with the banding on it. That's fully just the same one. And you can see, right? So he's wearing blue, on blue, with some armor gauntlets, and an ermine-trimmed blue overcloak. This man has about a $250,000, and so it's very likely that the blue dyes he's using is imported ultramarine. Right, so one, ermine, dummy expensive, and two, ultramarine dyed, dummy expensive. So, if you don't know what ultramarine is, ultramarine is ground up lapis lazuli. The primary place in the Middle Ages that it was imported from is Afghanistan. And that means that in order to get it into Central Europe, you'd have to, one, mine it from Afghanistan, two, get through the, several different competing political structures to get it to a trade port, either on the Mediterranean, like Tyre, or... Yeah, Tyre would probably be or I guess you could do it through, like, Alexandria or something. Or to port cities on the Persian Gulf. Then you have to get it around. A little bit later, in the 1500s, you get it around to Antwerp. You actually take it to the Netherlands first. You could, but if you're on the Mediterranean coast, it goes to Venice, Geneva, Milan, Constantinople, Yeah, those would be all the big... Trieste could be another one. From there, you then have to travel it overland up the Imperial roads to Innsbruck and Nuremberg. And from Nuremberg, you could distribute it farther. Incredibly difficult. And it was significantly more expensive than gold. Like, a lot more expensive than gold. Ooh, pretty manuscript, right? We just met this man here, but he's future... where actually is this one from? The Gelnhausen Codex. Ooh. From Yelava. That's fun. That's a fun codex. Show me more. I'm getting easily distracted now. Ah, boo, let me see it. Wait, hang on. We might be. Oh, this is just a scraunchy website. Oh no. Oh boy. But my God, that's some fans. Oh Jesus. Hold. Ow. Holy moly. That's a good manuscript right there. Damn, that's expensive. Uh-huh. Let me... I don't have a good way to make this bigger. But, there's a lot happening there. I mean, firstly, look at him. He's a falconer with a trumpet and a fancy-ass hat, bicolored, hosen, and a puppy. Look at that man. And weep, for ye shall not be as fashionable as him. And two, this is